Hello, everyone. Welcome to my universe. So let's see, today... Well, normally I would start stream by copying over code from my dev version up to my live version. But that's not how things are going to go today, because I just decided to move my live version over to... or my dev version over to my live version. Just copy and pasted the files. Because I made many a little change, and I was very afraid of forgetting something. And some of them I think just would have been a complete pain to recreate. So I just decided to go ahead and copy things over. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about things. Basically, what I wanted to implement this week was blueprints. I probably have it about 90% done. There's just a few little things, and if you notice this little white box sitting by my head, that is currently the big thing of just, I wanted you to be able to name your blueprints. So I was like, oh, look, Godot has a built-in thing that lets you type in text. Great! Problem is that input is still active while that happens. So while you're typing, you're making things happen in the background, and it's kind of a problem. So I'm not quite sure how to fix that. I put this by my head, so if, you know what, I should put a question mark by this. There we go, it's a question, because I don't know the answer to it. And I tried to look it up. But I can tell that it's going to be a little bit of a rabbit hole, so I probably won't do it on stream. I do have thoughts. But if you would like to just give me the answer, there you go. There's the question. This, right here, that's the big thing. But yeah, besides that, just some of that required a little bit of refactoring the code. Actually, it didn't, but I didn't know that at the time, and I think it took me a couple of tries to find a solution that worked well. So I ended up refactoring bits of the code anyway. And one of the big things that ended up happening is now all of the pipes have this constant that has their UID in it, and that helped for several things. It was very nice. So no regrets there. It worked very well, but I was afraid of forgetting just little things like this. And in fact, I think I'm going to close some of these right now. And you know what? I think I'll close the player stuff as well. Scene manager. Yeah, we don't need that right now. Save manager I'll keep, though. And let's just prune some of this so I don't have to do quite as much scrolling. It'll be great. Don't really need those right now. I'll reopen all the player stuff once it is time to actually work on the player again. Okay. So, there we go. Let's see. I'll close some of these too, because I don't need all of these right now. I'll leave the player because it makes me happy. And those I'll keep up there. Alright. So, let's see. What were some of the other things that I added this week? So, I did finish off my error handling, so now it totally correctly will detect when you're trying to build outside the allowed build area, like so, no matter where you do it or which combination things. Currently I have that check disabled because it's easier to test, but yeah, it'll at least tell you when there's a problem, so when I turn it back on, it'll do things. It's great. It works exactly as I wanted to. So there you go. And yeah, the other big thing is I got the blueprint menu started. So that's here, you know, a very beautiful and true testing way, a total placeholder. I swear I'll make it pretty later. The only reason it's even this pretty is because I was experimenting with Godot containers. I hadn't really used them before, and they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. So I think I'll be able to make some really nice menus when it comes time to actually make things pretty and not a placeholder scuff like this. So yeah, we got the nice title there, and don't mind the error handling right now. It's using the same thing that the regular grid is using. It's all the same code. That was one of the things that I wanted to try to figure out. I'll show the code off a little bit later here. But yeah, you can clear the things here, and then you can save it if you want. And this is where things get weird, because all the input is active while this is happening, and it's terrible. I don't know how to fix it right now, so I'll just call it K, because K doesn't do anything else. And you can, well, for one, you can see a bunch of test code. I haven't gotten rid of that yet, but that's fine. And then you can see up here, it's right there. And if you were to, oh, and yeah, you can see that there's still some small issues. But if you click on an empty one, it'll clear it for you so you can type in a new one. And if you click on the one there, it crashes because I still need to fix that. But in theory, later, it will show you your blueprint. So that's basically all that's left to do. It's make it so the menu will actually show you your blueprints, and make it so that you can actually take the blueprint and put it on the grid. So that's the plan. It's gonna be great. And I've also thought for a pretty long time about, you know, just in terms of what blueprints will do for you. Because, I mean, if you look at your build area, it's pretty small. We're probably going to keep it relatively small. There might be some oh, the thing wasn't up yet. But yes, build area very small. It may or may not end up being this size. It might be bigger, it might be smaller, who knows? We're probably going to have some collectibles throughout the map that will let you expand your build area. But besides that, on just areas where it's outside, like, you know, in the red areas, we'll probably just place ghosts a la Factorio, and as you walk past them, we're gonna pretend like you have construction robots, and you'll start filling them in once it enters your build area. That's the current plan. Yes. So that this way blueprints are usable, and so this way, when you're just trying to drag pipes across a long room, you don't have to do it piece by piece. Which means that we might need some kind of zooming in and out feature, but I'll think about that later. I don't actually think it'd be that hard to implement since I have level bounds. Like if we take a look at the rooms here. And hello there, Pineapple. Welcome back. But yeah, if we look at the room here, you can see this kind of cyan box going around things. The camera will never exceed that in theory. I'm pretty sure I have it coded right. It doesn't let you see through the floor, so I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right. But, we'll probably use... So, in theory, I should be able to zoom things out in areas that you can build if you want to zoom out. That'll be some stuff to figure out later. For now... Do I want to look at my blueprints a little bit more? Because like I said, there's that one issue that I think it's going to involve me crawling through documentation. I don't really want to do that on stream. That sounds like it'd be suffering because it'd just be me sitting here silently reading. So, I probably won't do that. But I guess I can talk a little bit about how I built some of that. Let's see. So, up here in Global, you can see we got some more pretty colors here. So, yeah, I forgot how much I actually ended up doing this week. It was pretty neat. Yeah, I forgot that I hadn't built that as of last stream. So, let's talk about how blueprints are made. Yay, so we got some pipes here. Now let's pretend I want to copy them. I can empty my hand by picking clear on the wheel. And now there's nothing. It just highlights the cell you're hovering over. And when there's nothing, you can drag over things with this box. And it'll take them. And, okay, so I broke something somewhere. That's fine. That's unfortunate, but let's see if I can fix it then. And I can talk about the code there. Let's go ahead and fix that. So that'll be in here somewhere. Let's see, it shouldn't be an input issue, but alright. So, I made a variable called copying, and some stuff happens with it. Let's see. So not equal to -1. Selection dragging. Okay, so we're good. I didn't break anything there. So let's find out why this isn't working. Yeah, so basically what happens is we go through here, and when it is first done here, we got the we get the whether or not you are dragging, or if you have a building. If it's -1, your hands are empty and you're ready to make that black square I just showed off. And if you're making the black square, then you know you're making a selection, and it's great. So get your mouse position, and that determines the bounds of the square, so where your cursor was when you started dragging, and then the other end is just where the cursor currently is, and that's how you determine the bounds of the rectangle. And then when you release the mouse, we come up here and down to this here, where we stop it. We stop making the rectangle, and then we make the copy. So let's see, where is that? Create, copy, preview. There you are. So we come down here, and I make a canvas group to set this thing in, and yeah, then we add it there, and we put it in place, and then we load all the pipes that you copied. Yeah, nice and simple. Okay, so it's all pretty straightforward. This is all honestly pretty straightforward. It probably looks more complicated than it is. So let's go back up there, because I think I have an idea of what might be wrong just from explaining it. Let's see. If I go through all of the other stuff here, so we have pipe dragging. Because I think that what might have happened is I had to revert a bunch of code, and I think the code that I wrote to move things around might have gotten purged. Unfortunate, but I can rewrite it pretty easily. It wasn't that hard. Oh no, here it is. Okay. If folder. But I'm not moving the holder. Okay, so this is just for overlapping pipe stuff here. Build copied up position. No, that should be dragging it around. Okay, so it didn't get purged. I'm not sure why it's not working then. That's concerning. Oh! Ah, the drive coding. Alright, let me go take a look at what's happening. And we'll fix this, in theory. So yeah, you can see it's not moving with the cursor, so is it just not reaching this? Oh, you know what? I should have gone to see what my remote looks like. Okay. So if we come over here, you guys can actually see it. Fantastic. Oh. Why'd the music stop? Why did the looping, and why you gotta be like this, YouTube? Okay. Where was I? So if we come back over here, we can see all of the things that exist. We'll have the grid, and then there should be a holder somewhere, and there is. So why is it not moving? Okay, and it's not like it's frozen. Awkward. So awkward. Okay, yes, I mean, it's there. Oh. Okay, it was jank. You know what? Fair enough. It was moving. It's just way the heck over there, and I don't know why this is being highlighted. It's probably because I changed a lot of the thing from position to global position, and I probably didn't update it somewhere. I thought I got it all, but maybe I didn't. It's clear I got the error messages going to the right place, but maybe okay. Okay, no, that one definitely has to be global position. So one of the reasons that I wanted to transfer things from position to global position is for this blueprint menu that's gonna come up in a few seconds here. There it goes. I wanted to use the same code so that this way I wouldn't have to just rebuild this from scratch and, you know, do a bunch of copy and pasting and a bunch of annoying stuff, because that sounds awful. And you know, it worked pretty well, but I was doing a lot of things based on global position before. And if you look at this menu, 0, 0 is up here, but on the grid, it's here. So I would like that, you know, to actually translate. And the way I found to do that was to use position instead of global position. You know, makes sense. It really does. But it appears to have broken something somewhere, so I'm actually a little surprised. And a little concerned. Okay. Well. Not much to be done about that. So I guess this means I just need to go through, because one thing with that is even before it got really weird like this, you know, with the... Oh, wait, I am loading the wrong scene. Even before it got really weird, I'll just, wait for it to come up here. I built a couple of rows of pipes. Oh, no, Godot hates me. Hold on. Do you like me this time? I like you, Godot. Okay. So, even before there were shenanigans here, you can see that the pipes are just way the heck over there. But even before there were shenanigans, this feature was a little bit jank, and I just never really got around to fixing it. I didn't really consider that important right now, and I was planning on fixing it once I updated, you know, just started to make the game feel good in general. But, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work in that regard. I'd kind of like to get that working now. So, I guess for test purposes, I'm gonna go to where the holder is created. Where are you? Where did I put you? There you are. And I am going to add a child. You know what? I want to put you up here. Okay. Why did I modulate its opacity? Oh yeah, for all the pipes in it, of course. I gotta wake up. Okay. So that'll make things easy. So I'm just gonna add a quick rectangle here. And I'm gonna use that to determine where it thinks the thing actually is. You know, I wonder if I actually properly updated this. I probably did. Well, first, I just want to build my rectangle. Let's do that before I start getting into random things. Okay. So, let's see, we're gonna have... rectangle... But I don't know the coordinates of the holder. Can I just have it fill? Let me see. You know, I like to avoid doing too much Google searching. But... that's fine. Let's see. Draw, or make... color rect fill parent in code. Let me see. The fill color of the rectangle. Okay, that's not quite what I'm looking for there. Alright, maybe I should just find rect 2D. Or rect 2. There we go. Rect 2. Oh, okay, so that's what a rect 2i is. Alright. Yeah, I actually wasn't clear on the difference between rect 2 and rect 2i, but apparently rect 2i just uses integers, but is otherwise identical. That might actually be relevant to my interests. Let's see. Oh, there's an encloses method. That might have helped me do some things, if I had known about that earlier. But you can see this is why I don't like going down documentation rabbit holes while I'm streaming it, because it just ends up being me reading. Okay. Okay. No, I think I can do this. Let's see. So folder rect is rect 2. Let's give it that. Rect 2, and then it's going to be folder position and vector 2 of folder dot width, or is width the right property for that? I'm not actually sure. I'll try it, and I'll see if Godot bursts on me. And holder dot height. Can I do that? Is that allowed? Okay. Okay, so var holder rect is probably just a color. So how do I declare a color on it? Okay. Because I can't use, like, draw rect, so I need to spawn the color rect. Let me see. In code. Alright. Alright, so I might not be able to do that. Okay, how the heck do you make how do you do this? Are you text? Wonderful. Alright, this isn't quite what I'm looking for, but I think I got the gist from looking at things. So color rect equals color rect dot new, and from there color rect dot position is equal to holder dot position, and I think this is how I'm actually supposed to do it. So, and then size is that, and then I don't think I need that anymore. And then color rect dot color. I'm feeling special today, so I want to make it purple. Okay. Then folder add child color rect. Okay. So let's see if this gives some indication of where things are. I'm just gonna go ahead and no. Width. Okay, so I can't use width and height. Let's see if I can get so canvas group. How to get the size of a canvas group. Wonderful. Okay, not quite what I was looking for. Okay, but here's the canvas group. I mean, it inherits from Node 2D, so why doesn't it have a width? Okay, someday I'll find out where its width is. Draw arc. These are things that take width as a parameter, but not actually to get the width. Unfortunate. Because I'm pretty sure you don't do anything like that with just regular nodes. Okay, I might have to fix this later. Just because I don't actually know how to find how big this thing is. So, alright. Such is life. I will go down this rabbit hole a little bit later, and I'll implement some things that won't have me crawling through documentation for now. Because there actually are a few things. So, like, for one, I mean, you noticed that when I showed off the blueprint code, that it crashed. And I know how to fix that. So let's go fix that. Make it so the blueprint code doesn't crash anymore. That sounds pretty good. So let's see here. This is just when I started drawing the blueprint for when you start there. Okay, so here. I have to remember how my dictionary is formed. So the blueprint has a name. And then there are various things within it. Actually, I can bring up some debug code just so you can see it again. So we're gonna go save a blueprint. And we'll give it the name of K, since K doesn't do anything. And now you can see a bunch of debug code comes up, and it's great. So you can see that this is the blueprint, and then each inside there's the location, and then the information on the pipe that is at that location. So yeah, like I said, I just forgot how I formed the dictionary. So here I was trying to access this property without going through its location. And so building is going to be I thought that this one Yeah, this one should return this. And then we should get the dictionary that it's made out of. And so that should be you. Just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, let's print. Okay. So this will let me, oh, I had the window open, my bad. This will help me make sure that I'm understanding what I'm actually doing here. So, go back in there. And I'll go ahead and close it this time so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. But, you know, you can still see the debug code. Let's see here. I need to label this. I can't read a word of this. Okay. Now I should be able to read in theory. I'm gonna make it even more clear for me. There we go. Okay. Alright, it only gets there when I try to load it. I forgot. Boop. Okay, let's, we're just gonna crash this a lot. It's fine. Okay. So, blueprint. You know what? I want this above it, too. And a space. There we go. So now when I try again, it should be a little bit easier to read. Okay, so that's what I expected. So the blueprint is just the list of locations I have, and I forgot to close the game again. So there we go. And then the building is the vector 2. So the vector 2 should have a type. This should be fine. Why are you unhappy? Well, I mean, this is wrong, I realize, but this should be building. Because it should be iterating on the vector 2. The vector 2 is the key now. This is wrong, but that's okay. You should instance. Okay. Building scene, done. Instantiate. Yep. But why does this upset you? This seems correct to me. Because I have building right there, it's the vector 2, like I expect. And then I want it to access type. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, I ended up finding a couple of other problems while trying to figure out this one, but this seems... This seems okay? Oh, okay. No, I see what's wrong. So this should be blueprint, sub-building, a subtype. There we go. That's what I messed up. And that should be the same for all of these, actually. Okay. That makes sense. I need to access the whole dictionary, not just the key. That's important. And are we good here? Okay, so I think this should be fine now. Let's see if I am correct. No. Did I spell instantiate wrong again? Because I swear to God, I do that like every time. Because this should be a UID. And that should be fine. Okay, let me find where I instantiate something just to make sure I didn't spell it wrong. Look, someday I will spell this correctly. But no, it looks like I got it right. And you get the scene. Can you not instantiate from a UID? I thought you could. No, you have to be able to, because that's how I do it pretty much everywhere else. Because, like, down here, for example, I get this based on its type, which is indeed the UID, so we load that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, I think I know what's wrong. I have to load it. Factory... Blueprint menu, so... Load... Blueprint scene, and instantiate it. That should work, then. Oh, and I had the window up again. I gotta stop that. Okay. And, you know, like I said, a slight bug with inputs. Don't worry about it. I'll fix that later. But there we go. And now it's back. And now if I make a different one, I'll put one over here. And this will be L for long. I can now switch between them, and it's great. I do need to clear the other buildings first. So I'll get rid of my debug code here, and we'll start doing that. So let's see. I want for building in buildings get children. So we're just gonna take them and we're going to kill them. So building .q free. Okay, and now that they're dead, we should be able to go through and just draw the blueprint. So this will be the K one, and then we'll make another one, and this will be the L one, and I should just be able to switch between them. Yay! Aren't they great? And I think, at least for now, it's fine that they kind of draw like this. I might want to make it so it kind of does it all at once at some point, but I think this looks fine. Especially on the blueprint book. It's fine. Looks good. Don't mind the bug. I will fix that later, but besides that, I think that this is roughly what I want, and close button works, right? Yeah, okay. It was weird there because I didn't load it from the main scene, I just loaded it from itself so I didn't have to take the time to bring it up. But there we go. So, feeling pretty good about things, so I'll go ahead and get rid of my debug code down here too. And from there, all that's left is to load it into the main scene. So, not quite sure I'm gonna do that, actually. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. So I didn't talk very much about how I actually made this menu come up. And what I do, if we go back up to process here. Alright, so you can see for the very first line that there were shenanigans. Because I found that when I ran this, this was a very, very weird day. So you press B to open the blueprint book, and it works great. And if you press B again, you can close the blueprint book, and it also works great. And at some point, I also want to make it so you can use the escape button, but I haven't done that yet. I might do that now, but anyway, I digress. Oh. Oh no, it's... Okay. Maybe I didn't fix it. Okay, but basically, when I Does it not unpause when I use the B button? Because it should. Let me go find where I do it here. Yeah, it's right here. I don't know. Maybe I should unpause it before I free the menu. Might help. Let's see. No, I just can't build for some reason. Now the button doesn't work. Oh, right. Okay. Okay, no, this is just an artifact of when I was trying something else. This is just an artifact of when I was trying something else. So let me go fix that. Give me just a moment to abandon the bot. Where are you? You, please die. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. All better. Now then, yeah, this was just an artifact of when I was trying to find other ways to disable input. But basically, I just needed to disable input for a frame, so I put that there, and then at the bottom, I put else, so I just had input disabled, and I forgot to put that back when my method of trying to disable input didn't work. But yeah, basically what happened is when you hit the close button here, it's still borked. Did I not put it in the right spot? I might not have. No, I did. Oh. Okay. It would help if I used the right boolean. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, are we good now? Can I do stuff? I can. Wonderful. But yeah, basically what happened is that this was the first sign of there being problems with input within my menus. Because when I hit the close button, it tried to process the click like I was trying to build a building or something. And it didn't have all the necessary information because I was in a menu and the weird things were happening. And it just crashed the game, and it took me forever to figure out what was going on there. So this was my... This was just something I did to make that not happen. I kind of hope that I can get rid of this, or at least find a better way to use it. I don't know, but whatever, this works for now, so I'll leave it like that. Now then. Right. So the next thing that I just really wanted to do was figure out just how the hell am I gonna get this blueprint here. And I was just talking about when you can open and close it with B, but for whatever reason, when you use the close button specifically, it crashed the game. It's terrible, I tell you. Absolutely terrible. Goodbye, chat break. Sorry, I'm just finding myself concerned about something, but no, it seems fine. Okay. Let me just double check for the sake of my sanity. No, it looks good. Okay. It just, I banned the bot, and then chat messages disappeared, and I was concerned. But it seems like everything's okay. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So, now all the buttons work and none of them crash the game, and it's fantastic. So how am I gonna get that out of there? I am a little bit worried. I don't really want to abuse the global class if I can avoid it, but I might not be able to. Because what I'm concerned about here is much like I had to disable input here for a frame, and much like how I'm able to do that, what happens when we go call this... Oh yeah, and I guess I should show you all the other things you can do with the blueprint menu. Because I did put error messaging and stuff in it to make it all work. What happens is that it's basically creating another instance of the same grid code that this is happening, that this uses. And that's why when you build within where the player is sitting, like over here, since this is roughly where the player is, you can see that it turns green and everywhere outside it's red. It's because it's using the same code, and I just haven't updated all of that yet. And I figured that was easy because you wanted the blueprints to be able to do roughly the same thing. It just has a few more functions, like you can scroll. Strictly speaking, all it does is move all the pipes around, but it has the effect of letting you scroll. And I think I might actually want these to be moving around the other way, but whatever. I'll deal with that later. That's gonna be more of a player feel thing. This is functional. So you can do some things like that because the way I did it in the code is we have the main grid here, and if we scroll up to the top, I gave it a class of a grid. And then from here, I just had it inherit, or not that one, this one. I just had it inherit from the grid class I just made. And all the code in here is just the little extra things that it needed, the things that were just a little bit different. So it needed a slightly different ready function because you don't need to rebuild the factory in here. That doesn't make sense. And I gave it the special input function. This one doesn't even exist in the initial grid class. And this is how you're able to scroll around. And then down here, the logic for spawn building was much simpler because I didn't need to build the dictionary. I just needed to put the visual aspects in. So with all of the visual aspects there, this is all the code you need. Up here is basically just seeing if there's anything on that location, because I can't just use the pipe info dictionary. I can on the main grid. It doesn't exist here, and I don't want it to exist here. I want you to be able to build anything, really. So I just checked to see if there's anything there, and if you have a force build option on, I guess I can explain that a little bit, because I did do some special stuff there. Like I said, there were a lot of little tiny things that I made here, and that's why I didn't copy and paste everything over today. So, if we go like here, you know, I'm not holding the force build button, and you can see it just built everything except where they're overlapping. But now I am going to hold down the force build button, and you can see instead of being purple, or red, it is now purple. So it'll delete the old one and replace it with your new thing. So you can do that now too. It's great. And then, you know, it just puts the building down after it determines whether or not it can. And that's basically all that happened. I still kept this, but I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna make this work for now. And then, when it came to deleting the buildings again, we can't use pipe info, because if we look here, the way I tell if you should be able to delete is if the dictionary has that pipe. But, you know, we're not using my pipe dictionary here, so we just kind of do it. It's very convenient. And then I think what I was going to show before I kind of got caught up in a rabbit hole of various things, you know, these things happen, is how I actually switched to the menu. So we go here, and I see, hey, do we have a blueprint menu? And if the answer is no, then we bring up the blueprint menu, and we pause the game. So that this way, nothing can happen outside of the blueprint menu until the blueprint menu is closed. And then when you close it, we unpause it, and it's great. So it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, so I guess just to figure out some of the small things I want to work on, I would still need a fix for this problem by my head here. But I don't want to get too caught up in the reading documentation. So let's see, how exactly am I going to transport it back? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So because this code is used by both of them, when I close the blueprint menu, it's no longer going to know what blueprint you have selected. It's going to be dead. And that's sad. So, yeah, very, very sad. So all I can really do is try to, how to say, make it so that I can somehow get the blueprint from that menu back into here. And that might actually be hard. I can do it in a pretty straightforward way with my global class, and just use that as an intermediary. So that might be how I do it. I kind of want to do an experiment just to see how this works. So I'm going to make a test variable up here. And I'm just going to call it selected blueprint. Well, yeah. Okay, so then here, I want to make it when we come back down here in the process here, when we're about to open the menu right here, I want to make sure that this is false. I don't think this will ever be an issue, but I just want to make sure. And I want to make sure I can work with the close button. So I will do that for now. Well, actually, I really can't, can I? One of the issues that I've been having is the blueprint grid may extend the grid. And so it has access to all the global variables and stuff, and it's very nice. But the menu, where all the buttons and stuff live, does not. And so it has no idea what the heck a grid is. So this is just how I handle all the buttons. It's, you know, let me show you some of what we got here. So here, look, you can draw there, and if you press the clear button, it all goes away, and it's great. I've already shown the close button. It closes it. It's very exciting. And then we have the blueprint name thing here. So I'll go ahead and I'll put in K for now. And if I try to save another one, we bring up a thing. Wow. I'm gonna say no, and then it brings me back here so I can call it a different thing. And you know, that's all great. And then if I try to put in an empty one, oh, it's supposed to not do that. Awkward. I was gonna say, it should bring up something that says that the thing is empty. But I guess it didn't. Okay, well that's not right. So let's go ahead and see if I... Let's see. Where is the save button? Here we are, save button here. Print. Blueprint. Because it should be 0 if there is nothing in there. I guess I could also just do not equal to empty. And I think I might also do an error check on if the name is an empty string, but later. Like I said, I was largely experimenting with canvas item. Okay, so it worked there. But if I don't know, derp around and hit clear. Okay, so that's probably just another input issue. It must think that there's something down below here that I just can't see because it's covered by the menu. So if I were to take that color rect for the bottom buttons, and we just bring your alpha down. Okay, so now I'll be able to see. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening though. Because, yeah, there's something there from when I click the button. Okay. I don't see it, but you know what? I'll take its word for it. I'll fix that once I'm dealing with, please don't input when you're on the menus. Please. But life is hard. You see, I had that issue when I was first placing it into the main room here. Just up in this big room here. And the way I got around that was pausing the game and just making it so that menu will work even while you're not paused. Or even while you are paused, rather. So I can't just pause the menu again, because it already will keep working while it's paused. Unfortunate, but there you go. There's things I can do. I know there is. But, oh man. Weird input issues, man, I hate it. So, yeah. I do have a... Or, no, I think I deleted it, but at one point I had a message bus that I could potentially use when the blueprint screen is deleted. I guess that might work. I'm not quite sure what I would connect to receive that signal, though, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. Things are starting to get a little bit harder to actually stream because there are decisions to be made, and I don't necessarily know how to do all of the things that I need to be able to do. So you know what? Let's go say hi to our friend the Nightmare Pipe. Let's go and try to get some math done. Because it's been a while since I've revisited just all the code I got going at the bottom here. In fact, I need to remember how it works. So... yes. Back down here with all my debug code while I tried to figure out where things are gonna go. and how all the math is gonna work. I have to remember what I was planning on doing. So I remember that I had a pretty solid way of finding the path, whether or not the splitters were balanced and all of those things. I do remember that, so I'm just gonna trust myself. You know, past self is pretty cool, and just assume it works. So how far through this was I? Yeah, that's right, I was gonna redo a lot of this because I didn't like the way I was doing it before. Yeah, and then I went back and removed a bunch of code. Okay, so I remember now. The way I wanted to handle things was I wanted the initial nodes there, the initial buildings, so the extractor, mergers, and splitters, to handle what gets sent downstream. Before, I was experimenting with doing it the other way, where the pipe tried to find its previous, and then do stuff like with that, but I think it just makes more sense to do it like this. So let's see. I see that we already have a path, and we're looking at the pipes in the path. And then I see if it has connections. So I believe connections. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. So the connections was the splitter, merger, phylactery, and whatnot. Okay, and then... Okay, so this just isn't for the extractor. This just sets things. To that, okay. And then I tell it to split. But I don't actually change its values, and I think that's a mistake. Okay. So, what I want to do is... for... element in... Oh no, we don't need to do it on pipe info. I don't think I want to do that. I want to do it on itself. So this will be... path. It is path that I'm setting this on, right? Yeah. Oops. Oh no, not there. Path sub pipe. Elements. Element equals... this is going to be path pipe elements of element, and okay, so this is actually going to be path connection elements element. Okay. And this is if the splitter's balanced, so divided by 2. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Divided by 2. So there we go. We're gonna split all the numbers in half, because this is for splitters, and when it goes through a splitter, it should be divided in half. Okay. This is scary. I'm not gonna worry about the recursive pipes yet. Let's get it working for splitters. Let's start with splitters. And merge pipes otherwise, they do not care. They are just really special normal pipes that can take things from multiple places. As long as we don't gotta deal with the recursion. So it's fine. And I'm not going to acknowledge this right now, so let's keep going. So yeah, I was going to handle that there. I changed my mind. So I don't think I need any of this. This I do, though. So this can go away. I don't remember if I don't think this needs to be true, so this should be fine. If pipe has... So the first one is going to be the extractor, and this should always set it to its connection. And we might have to change some of this around based on how we want to display things to the player, but let's just see if this works for now. And you know what? It's gonna be way easier to test now because I built all the things. Unfortunately, I don't have blueprints quite working, so I can't just save my setups as I tweak things. But you know what? It's a good start. So, let's go. So I'll get my friendly extractor. We'll set him down here, and I want to make... Let's just do a basic one for now. We'll put a splitter down. And a phylactery. Okay, it is not calculating. Alright, let's see why. Okay, I have to remember what all of my buttons do now. So we get the path. And I see that there's stuff in it, so that's good. It has the connection. It has the stuff. Oh, right, because I don't update... Or no, I probably should. Okay, so we got the phylactery. It's got the stuff in it. I'm not sure what this is. Got like tildes and stuff. Okay, so that's here. No? No. Okay, yeah, that was those guys. I have to remember what all my debug code means. I wrote it a long time ago. Let's see, where do I have dashes? Here, at the end. So this is what it is at the end. So I guess I was just doing this to double check everything at the end. Oh, is there nothing in there right now? Oh no, this is pipe info. I see, so that's why I did it like that. Okay, yeah. Okay, this was me misremembering what my code did. But I remember now. Where up here, this is where I just... Sorry, once again. But yeah, up here, this is where I just kind of start setting all the values. So that this way I can manipulate them freely without having to worry about overriding something I shouldn't. And then down at the bottom here, in that code that I deleted that I probably shouldn't have. Yeah. This was when I was actually going to go through and update it. So there we go. That's why it wasn't working. Because I broke it. Okay. So, let's see if it works now. And we'll get... Let's just put a friendly phylactery in right away. Okay, yeah, we got the 200 water there that is covered by my cloud. That's okay. So now let's do it with a splitter. So we got 200, and if I put a vaporize on the other side, it should be 100. Oh ho. Try to assign value of string to a variable type of vector 2. Okay. Well, these should be strings now. So this was remnants from when I was initially using vector 2s. I was using a vector 2s for my... what's it called? My dictionary, and then at some point I realized that saves was not going to like vector 2s in the dictionary, so I turned them into strings. So this is just a remnant of that. You can see here. It just doesn't like it. Should be vector 2, but is string. Okay. Where is does path exist? Because item should be a string. And that can be a vector 2, that's fine. Maybe. Is it fine? Let's see what it gives me here. Current chords. What are current chords? Type info sub item. Okay, so yeah, that's not a vector 2 anymore. So I do not want that to be a vector 2. So let me make sure all of this is updated properly. I think this is actually fine, because all of these are already strings, I believe. Okay. You know what? Let's find out. Let's see if this barfs. Okay. Then the vaporizer. And we're good. We got water of 100, covered by cloud. Once more. Maybe someday I'll move that cloud, but I don't know. That's where the chat goes. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll think about it. Where would I put the chat if I got rid of that? Because there's important stuff everywhere. It took me a few minutes to figure out where to put my question by my head here. It took me a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's see here. So we got a basic setup working. Let me make sure it's working with pipes. So I'll just build a little string of normal pipes here. And I'll put a random merge pipe in because it makes me happy. And let's put the file actor right here. Okay, so why are you on... Okay, checking for a pipe loop. Okay. Okay, it should have one connection. So if it's two, it is not, so we check here. It should absolutely have one connection. Why does it not? This code would not even get here if it did not have one connection. That's concerning. Let's take a look. You can tell it's been a while since I've looked at this code, and Godot decided to be annoying. Okay, there we go. Alright, so a merge pipe test now. So what do we have here? Yeah, there's nothing in there. Why? It should have one. It has the phylactery, right? That's its connection. Let's see. So where is that? This is 0, 50, 100, 150. So 150 on the X. So that's going to be the merger, right there. Okay, so here's the merger. It has a connection right there. And that this should be the phylactery. It has no connections, which is to be expected. So it does indeed have the connection right there. Let me see. I want to keep this up for a second, so I'll go ahead and hide it so you guys can actually see the code. Okay. So how does this actually work? Because I guess it might just be finding its way to the phylactery here. Well, true. If path has connections... Okay. Ah, I see. So, in one of my previous versions when I initially wrote this, I must have not put an empty one here. So, rather than do it like that, I should say if is not empty. I guess, you know what, just in case, I'm gonna keep it really safe. I'm gonna keep it like that first. And I'm going to say if, what, does this return something? Yeah, returns an array. So if we're finding our way to the phylactery, that means that there is not a loop. Or a vaporizer. Either of those. There's no loop. So I think I can say if... If this is equal empty, I can just return that. I think I can just return the empty array because there's nothing. Yeah, and that's how I'm basically returning false. Okay. Let's go turn the game back on and run it again and see if it blows up. Let's go find out. Okay, is it gonna come up? Did I turn it back on right? I did. Fantastic. Alright. I gotta say, it feels so much nicer to have the wheel rather than having to just cycle through it with semicolon like I was doing before. That was terrible. Yay! Now things are fine. Huzzah. Okay. I'm not gonna do undergrounds. I put them in for reasons, but I just feel like they're going to significantly increase the complexity of, like, everything. So I'm just going to ignore them for now. I will deal with their shenanigans later. And that'll be, you know, interesting. But... oh boy. Yeah. Let's see, are the basic pipes okay now? Are there no more shenanigans? Yeah, we're good there. Okay, and if I do just a slight shenanigan, and we just put another oh, that's right. Oh, God. Yeah, there's some bug fixes I'm gonna have to do. But let me do the test that I wanted to do there. I forgot that you can't actually put an extractor in that square anymore, even though it looks like you can. I might just move it a little. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. Let me just get the turnpipe there. Hitting all the wrong buttons. You know, it's true. Even if I'm playing my own game, I will hit all the wrong buttons. Okay. So there we go, and now I get that there. Only 200 water. That is definitely not correct. And let's see, no error here. Did I connect it right? Looks like I did. So if I got rid of this and put the phylactery here, and I got rid of that, water 0. Oh, I have that pipe turned the wrong direction. Okay, that would do it. That's a user error as opposed to coding error. You know, I'm okay with this. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it's working fine. I just built the pipes wrong. And yeah, you can see in the debug code, we got 400 water and 400 air, or I can't, but it's covered by my shoulder. I never know where to put things. Okay, but yeah, it's working. So, alright, so if all that's working, let's go ahead and try to break things for a little bit. And then we can revisit recursion, because I actually have had thoughts on how to do that. Okay. So here, there is a particular split pipe setup that I find very useful for testing them. And it's where I do this. This is one blueprint that I would absolutely make, if I was able to. Soon. Okay. So we got this little structure here. I'm gonna put the phylactery on the top. Right now, everything should flow into it. But it looks like it is not. So that's bad. Oh, I have the pipe wrong again. Okay, cool. You know, I'm actually happy when that's the problem. Oh. Huh. So it found it. I am confused. I am very confused right now. So, because yeah, you guys can see the error message. Huh. Okay, so if I go to my output, what is it complaining about? Where was the last print that happened? Okay, we got connections here. I'll leave the game up for a second, I'm not looking at the code. Okay, yeah, that seems alright. So I checked to make sure it has connections. And then... I don't know what's wrong. Okay, well let's try to break that down and see if I can figure out why it crashed there, because that should not happen. So with here, it's fine. I remember I tested this very directly. So there, we're good. What about on the other side? Yeah, there, we're good. What about if I put a vaporizer? Still good. Vaporizer on this side with no phylactery? Yep, just fine. Yep. What about double vaporizer? All good. Okay. So it's not related to a single split pipe. What about two? Okay, so I'll put that there, and now if I take the phylactery, We're good? Okay. We still good? Yep, sure are. Alright, I'm gonna add another split pipe. And another turnpipe. Okay. Phylactery. No. Why? What do you mean invalid access? Okay, well, it's time for some more print spam. This is where I really wish I had the blueprint, because then, you know, I could save the setup, and I wouldn't have to make it every time. It's a lot better than it used to be, but I will be very glad once I can make blueprints work. That's gonna be my goal for the coming week. Actually, no, it's kind of funny. After my art stream on Saturday, I was like, man, that was fun. Maybe I'll do some more drawing in the week and I can do another art stream. That'll be great. And I even, like, picked a day, and I was gonna go do that, and I was like, you know, let's do a little bit of coding before I go do the extra stream, and then I just kept going. I've been having a good time working on this. So much so that even though I was having a great time drawing last Saturday, I couldn't make myself stop. I couldn't. What language is this? This is GD script. So, Godot's language. I am, yes! It's, going to be a Metroidvania where rather than having a lot of your basic stats like your movement speed, your jump height, your attack, and your HP all being fixed or, you know, maybe slightly scaling, like in most Metroidvanias, you're building a factory on the side, and how awesome your factory is what determines how fast you run, how high you jump, how well you attack, and how much HP you have. And, so if your factory is really, really awesome, you'll be able to jump into the stratosphere and run really, really fast, and, you know, maybe even be able to run through lava just because you'll have the health and movement speed to tank it long enough. So, stuff like that. We're very excited. And right now I've got a weird bug I don't understand. So, I'm working on debugging that. Okay. So, time for some print spam! Let's go! So here... I would like to... Let's see, what symbol should I use for here? Let's do stars. Stars sounds good to me. Yeah. And I don't at the moment. No, nothing yet. Or, nothing anywhere. Like, strictly speaking, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able to list it on Steam, because I'd like to be able to link to a Patreon, but Steam doesn't like it when you do that. So, I'm not sure if I can. I still gotta figure that out. I haven't really navigated any of those kinds of things yet. We're still pretty early on. I might do it once I have the tutorial area totally done. That's kind of what I'm working on now, just getting the starting area finished. So let's see, this is going to be print type. Thanks! We've been having a good time. Wait, no, not double print. It's okay. Alright. Path, sub, type, sub. Okay, let's see why this explodes. So right now I'm just trying to get the calculations for how all the energy that's going to be running through your factory is calculated. Oh. Chat says it disconnected. Okay. I am very concerned by some things lately. Anyway, let's see why this breaks. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. There's the other. So why does this setup specifically break? This is weird. Like, when I pick this setup, it's because I want to make sure that the one flowing into the middle gets double what the ones in the end get. Not because I think it's gonna crash. Okay, so why are you blowing up? What does my debugger say? Okay, so we got here. It is 100, 450. Okay, so it's the first one. And it has this connection. Okay. Yeah, it sure does. And then it does its thing, and now we're going here to 150, 450, which is indeed the next one. Where are you? Yeah, 150, 450. And it has a connection. Okay. And I see its connection there. Alright, and then it stops here. So let's see, which pipe is this? 200, 500. So it's the one that goes down. This one. Yeah, and indeed it has no connections. So once we get here, it should have no connections. And then it should just move on with its life. Oh, right. It's because... Okay. I see. At some point, I must have refactored all of this to have an empty array for that instead of... Yeah, because I ran into this just a little while ago, actually. I understand now. So it'll always have connections, and I am feeling lazy, so I'm not gonna do the check there. So instead, I'm just gonna do it like this. We'll see if I regret my life choices. But anywhere where this happens, I have to do it like this. Somehow I got rid of a space. How awkward. Okay. So that's all it was. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, actually. Let's, kill the debug code. Let me see. I'm gonna see... Paths, pipe... dot has... Are joining pipes always... Yeah, they're always empty too. I should do that like this too. Okay, and let's look for has connections. I see, so I just decided to do it like this. Well, that's silly. We're not doing it like that anymore. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, looks like that's probably all of it. Alright. So, I think it's not going to explode on me anymore, because that'd be fantastic. I like it when things don't explode on me. So it's really messy when it does. So let's see here. Split pipe. And a turn pipe. Okay, and phylactery. Okay, you're still blowing up. Invalid. Why? Path sub connection. So I've verified that it has a connection. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of my debug code. Let me get it back. It's okay, I'll re-fix all of those things after. I just want this stuff back. Okay. Okay. So now we'll go back up there and I'll print things again. And we'll see why it's blowing up. Again. It's very awkward. I don't know why it's doing that. I thought that I just got it, but apparently not. I so look forward to having my blueprints finished. It's gonna be a good day. Okay, so why are you blowing up? Okay, so which one did it get to? It's blowing up in the same place. Was that not the issue then? Okay. So we do have the connections. And I'm just looking at the debug right now. So let's see, 200, 400, 200, 500. So that would be... Okay, let's go through it here. So this one, 100, 450, that's just going to be that guy, the extractor. And then his next one is going to be that splitter, which, you know, is correct. We see it here. And then the next one, we have 100 and 450. And that is indeed the next one here. Isn't it? Yeah, 150, 450. Right there. Okay, so we have 200 and 500 and 200 and 400. No joining pipes, as I would expect. And then we have here. We have vector 2, 200 and 400. Make sure I didn't miss any. Elements here, yep, 200 and 400. 200 and 350. Why? These don't match. Okay, what happened here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we have the splitter at 150, 450 right here. It's connections. 200, 500, 200, and 400. Okay. Then we go through here. 200 and 400. Which is perfect. And then the other one should be 200 and 500, but it is not. It is 200 and 350. Up there. Yeah, so that must be the phylactery location where it was trying to put it. Did I skip one? 200 and 400. No, it's just not there. Okay, well, I found the problem. I do think that what I saw there was probably also a problem, but this is concerning. So let's try to track that down. So this is the phylactery, so it finds it. Is it not exhaustively searching like it should? That's probably what's happening. Okay. So when I designed this, I wanted to go through every possible path in order to find every pipe that's going to be here, but I'm surprised that it made a connection without adding itself to the list, because that's weird. Because if it was exiting prematurely, I don't think it would have added itself to a connection, because normally it adds itself to a connection. When it comes to splitters, it adds itself to the connection and adds itself to the array at the same time. At least that's how I thought it worked, but to be fair, it's probably been a month since I've looked at this, since I've been just doing quality of life for a while. So let's go look at it. Let's see what happens with splitters. And why this one is adding itself to its connections, but not adding itself to the array. So let's see, we have a merge pipe here. Now we have a split pipe here. Okay. Oh, do I just accidentally... what is previous? Okay, so I'm setting previous to the current thing. As previous. Okay, I see. Is this with inside? Yeah, this is inside here, so this isn't relevant. Okay, and this is checking for recursion, so that's fine. And then we come down here. Okay, so no. Why am I using previous here? I think I must have copy and pasted it because this is wrong. I'm surprised it worked as well as it did. Because, yeah, I don't think that's right. Let me see. We have connections, and then I see if they're already there. How do I get joining pipes? So I say I have that there, but I don't have something for joining pipes. Do I need it? Do I just declare it near the top? I do. Okay. Okay, well, let's see if that helps. Because, yeah, that looked wrong. Let's see, where's my extractor? I'm still learning where everything is in this wheel. I haven't actually used it very much. It does feel quite nice to use, though, so I'm glad. I just have to learn where everything is, and of course everything is super scuffed right now, so it looks really bad. So, especially here. Takes me a second to find what I'm looking for. But it's okay, someday that will look very nice. Okay, well this is bad, but at least it's a little better. Okay, so why did you get nothing? So this all seems fine now. Let me check the initial path and make sure things are connecting as I expect. Start there. Connection to itself? That doesn't seem right. Okay, that's awkward because it is the same. It should not have connections to itself. Nor should it have any joining pipes. 150, 450 is the extractor, right? Let's see, 0, 50, 100. No, it is not. 150, 450 is the split pipe. Why is the extractor not in there? Is that why I did previous vertex there? Oh yeah, that's right. I do add it once it finds a connection. You know, I actually forgot about that. Okay. Okay, so no, that wasn't the issue. That was entirely correct. Okay. Yeah, I remember now, because I populate it when it's found, so that means... Yeah, so it is just ending prematurely. It isn't exhaustively going through the entire list, but... Okay, so if it doesn't... find itself... Okay. So the reason that it didn't... But it has to go look for that, because, like, what if there's a vaporizer down there? We don't know. I guess we would... if I was able to put one there, but right now it's crashing. So... I'm gonna put a check in there just to see if it works. I fear that it might not. But I think I at least have a good idea of the problem now. So now we're gonna calculate the flow here. I don't think I need that, but I'll go ahead and check it. So I'll just put a check here. If path has connection. Is that not how you check it? Oh. No, I just put it in the wrong spot. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It goes here. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so at the very least, it shouldn't crash anymore. In theory. Okay. So I'll go ahead and just keep my debug code for now. So in theory, I should have at least stopped the crash. I don't know if it'll be working, but it should not crash. The fact that I have to put that check in there is concerning to me, so I expect this to not work. But I would like to understand why it's borked before I try anything. So let's see, where's the vaporizer? Vaporizer. Okay, so it found it. It's still getting stuff. But it should not... This should not be getting 100 or 200 anymore. It should be getting 100. But if I put it here, it should work. That's fascinating. So it recognizes that it should get 50 there. Because it's being split here. And then it goes down and through here, and then it gets split again here. Is the other vaporizer getting the right amount? No. Okay. How am I adding... Okay, so we're doing a... equals there. That should probably be... Should that be plus equal? I have to think. Because now we're getting into math again. So let's see. Just trying to think. So what's happening there is that the splitter recognizes that it has to cut what is currently inside of it in half. I do think it should be plus equals. Because it's going to take what is currently inside of it and then add half of that into here. So yeah, I do think that is right. And this does have to be plus equals at the end just to handle multiple extractors. So that is correct. Okay. Let's see if that gets it. Sorry, I forgot to close the game again. I get very focused. Okay. Let's see. Split, split, split. And we'll have a turnpipe. And we'll have another turnpipe. And now we'll have our friendly... Where are you? There you are. Okay, so we got 200 there. Now if I put a vaporizer on the end, are we good? No, we are not. Because this splitter is balanced. So what's going into that vaporizer? 200. No, it should be 100. Okay. See, this is why I was worried about having to add this in, because if it's not finding things correctly, then that's going to be an issue. So let me try to work out why it's not working properly. Okay, so we start at the beginning with the 100 and 450. And I left the game open, but I actually kind of need it right now. So that's here. Yeah, this is 100, 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450. Yes. Okay, so we got that. Connections. 150, 450, yes. Joining pipes. We got the turnpipe, so that's good. Okay, and then we go to here. And it has 2 connections, which is correct. Okay, and then let's go through. This is the next one. Okay. And then this is the vaporizer. So it did find the vaporizer. And now it's going back up. So it's going back to this connection. So this is going to be the upper pipe. And it does indeed have the phylactery as a connection. And there we go, no connections. Okay, so no, it found everything. It found everything I put down. So there's something. And how I'm doing this. Okay. So first I set things equal. So I set its connection there. Equal to itself. You know, I think that this should actually be like an else condition, as opposed to the first thing I do, and I also really don't think I need this anymore. So what I want to do is if it's one of these two, then, you know, we do this, and otherwise we do the normal thing. Okay, I see. So that's why I was doing it first. So I would just set it. Okay. I don't think I want to do that. And so if it's not balanced, then we just do the same thing here. Except we don't divide by 2. Alright, I think that's probably fine. So yeah, if it's not merge, not... Yeah, and that means I'll have to do some stuff with merge pipes. I will revisit merge pipes when it comes time to do some of the recursive stuff. I'll get merge pipes working then. I want to make sure that I have split pipes working well, and also just normal straight lines. And you only set it on the connections, and that is perfect. Okay. Let me see if this fixes an issue there. I want to first make sure that just a normal string of pipes will work. Okay, we're good. So now let's try just a plain old splitter. I'm just gonna do my basics here. 400. No, it should definitely not be 400. It should only be... It got doubled. Why did it get doubled? Let's take a look. I kind of need the game again, so I'll turn it off like that. And then from here... So if it's a split pipe, does it have connections? Yes, okay, the splitter is not balanced, so we go here. Did the phylactery already have something on it before it went in? Because it shouldn't. Let's see here. So we have the path. And then it looks like I have some stuff printing down here. Okay. Alright, let's go. So we have the extractor. And then... I'm printing it. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Why am I printing it twice? No, that's a good question. I don't know why I am. These are identical, aren't they? Okay, well, I probably had a reason at some point, but right now it's just redundant, so I'm gonna clean that up a little. Okay. So here we are, we got the correct amount in there. And then it goes into the splitter. Still the right amount, okay. Phylactery. Has the right amount. Okay. And then afterward... Why do I have this? I have it like twice. Why? Okay, well that would do it. That would explain why it's doubling it for no reason. It must just be some holdover from something that I was doing before. Okay. Well, you know, that might be why certain other things are breaking too, so... There we go. Is it gonna come up? Alright, I have it turned off. There we go. My button's not buttoning. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. Building preview instance. Make sure it exists before you do anything. There you go. Okay. Okay. Now hopefully I won't just randomly crash the game periodically. You know, that's always nice to avoid. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do some basic splitter stuff and make sure that I'm not randomly duplicating things again. I do appear to be randomly duplicating things again. Okay. Well, I've cleaned up my print code, so let's see what's broken. Okay, so this looks fine. And then this is going to be this print here. And it has the correct amounts. Perfect. Then we have you here. And yep, those are good amounts. And we have, at the end, the correct amounts. Here we have the right amounts going in. And then for some reason, it's doubling it. That's not right. Is that why I had the double for loop? Okay. I see. So I needed a loop here. Okay, no, I don't indent you. Because it has to do this for every pipe, even if it's an extractor. So, for joining pipe in this should be down here. Let's make sure it's not empty first. That seems important. I do want to make sure that there's actually something in there before we start trying to iterate through it. It's a waste of time if it's empty. Oh no, I already have it. Okay, so no, this is fine. Then we have here. Okay. I am just confusing myself all over today. I don't know why. These things happen, I suppose. So, yes. No, this is fine. Pipe info sub pipe is equal to path. Elements, element. Yeah, that should be fine, because this should be 0 going in. So, just for giggles, let's put this in there. I should actually print this. And I will print this too. Okay. Actually, I want them the other way around, but just so I kind of understand what I'm looking at. And then they'll be divided by this line here, so that's perfect. It'll be easy to spot them. This is wrong, though. No, this is right. Okay, no, this all looks correct to me. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I already did everything, and I'm not sure why it's doubling. Let's run it again and find out. It's weird, it wasn't doing this earlier, so I assume it's something that I changed with how the splitters work. But I, for the life of me, am not sure why. Okay, back to debug code. Okay, so I have the correct values. Why does this already have something in it? At this point, it should definitely not have anything in it. Path connection elements. Yeah, that is right. But yeah, I see here. This last one is the phylactery. And it already has something in it at this point. No, this is I mean, it does have something in it. That's what this bottom one is, and that's an issue. But this one's fine. Because this is where it should be. This is where I'm keeping track of the numbers, that this way, once I can run recursive pipes, I can have a nice copy I can mess with, and then I can put everything in the right place at the end. And this is the putting everything in the right place at the end. So why does it already have some stuff in there? Am I accidentally... connection... element... Because I don't think I ever update pipe info here. Let me make sure. I use it for some name checks, but I don't think I ever update it until the end. And this is where I want to update it. So why does it get updated twice? Okay, well, let's scroll through it from the beginning. So we got the list here. This is the extractor. We'll go ahead and turn off the game. Because now we're looking at code again. Yep, no joining pipes, all is well. And then, yeah, we go to the splitter. And there's the phylactery. So everything looks good there. So the extractor here, this is all well and good. Okay. And then, yeah, we skip over this because its name is extractor. Okay. And now we come into the split pipe. So the split pipe here. And then we come in here and I see that it's a placeholder so I can do math without fear. Is indeed different from how it is within the pipe dictionary, so this is good. And then afterwards it gets updated correctly. So that's good. Okay. So this is the placeholders. So that's what it should be, I think. Yeah, it's there. So why have you been given stuff? It's not like you're being hit twice, you just randomly have stuff in you. Why? So I'm adding it to the phylactery somewhere earlier. Okay, well, where? Okay, well, let's find everywhere I update elements. I'm actually gonna go a little higher here. Why am I doing it like that? Shouldn't they just all be 0? I mean, I think this is probably okay. Okay. Because this is updating just the path. This isn't updating pipe info. So I think that this isn't relevant to what I'm looking at here. Because everything within path looks fine. Everything looks fine. Okay. Yeah, that's where I reset everything. So it's got to be below here. I didn't see anything in here. Because this is just updating path. So nothing's happening there. Okay, so now we have, if it's a splitter, has connections. If it's balanced, which in this case it is not, so we go here. I update the path, and all that is fine. I'm guessing it's just a holdover from a helper method. Or helper function. Connections. Yeah, this is all updating path. I'm just thinking here, does this need to be plus equals? I think it does. Because this will let me add when I'm getting stuff from multiple extractors. I think I even talked about that earlier, but... Okay, and then the rest of this is commented code. So I don't update elements anywhere outside of there. Alright, well, let's add some more prints until I can figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, so I know this is coming out of a splitter. So it's coming here. So I will print these again. Okay, and I think instead of here, I want it to be connection. Oh, okay, I gotta put one down. That's fine. I'll fix the name here and then I'll move them down. Okay. So I didn't change any code, so I'm pretty sure I can just... Right, it's not right-click to delete anymore. Well, I broke something. What the heck did I just do? I don't know. Well, I should figure that out at some point. One thing at a time, though. Let me think about this math. Because I don't want to start debugging random things while I'm debugging a different random thing. Okay. So this is going to be up here. And then we're just going to have some random stuff where it shows the values. Okay, so at this point... Yeah, at this point, it has the right numbers. So whatever the problem is, it's not from there. But at this point, somehow it has some stuff in it. But up there, it does not. Let me make sure I got the right thing. I just want to make sure I'm getting what I think I'm getting. Okay. So we're gonna be down here. We scroll to the bottom here. Oh, did it not, save it? Let's see. Oh, right. Okay. Just gonna rebuild it real quick. And now let's take a look. Let's see what we got. Alright. So here. So at this point it's empty. Which is what I want. Is it getting called twice? Wait. Start, path. So we got the extractor. Why? Okay, I need to make sure that this is what I think it is. So let's put some stars around it. This is how I make sure that that things are what I think they are. Okay. Yeah, that is indeed what I think it is. Okay, but no, this is what I expect. Okay. I was reading it wrong. Okay, that's relieving. Alright. So there's nothing in it, which is expected. Down here. Let's keep scrolling. Okay. So now we got here. So this is the split pipe. It has the stuff. But for some reason, the phylactery has stuff in it when it doesn't. Up here. I am highly confused. Okay. Okay. I don't expect things to be able to make it here. I don't think anything should make it into there, so... Or... We turn off the game again. But yeah, I don't think anything should be able to make it into this else statement. I don't have any relevant pipes like that. So if the splitter's balanced, we're good. And it's not going to be balanced here. Where did the phylactery get stuff as of, Oh, this is just path pipe. But no, as of, right here. Yeah, where did it get stuff as of right there? Because it's 0 up here. And I don't set it until below that. So how did it get something in it? Maybe it's just shenanigans here? Where do I define elements? Oh, elements is just what it gets taken in. Okay. So elements is just a... Okay. Where do I call calculate flow? I believe it's here. And then I provide... Okay, no, I know why I need that. That's for recursive pipes. So I shouldn't use it anywhere else. That it might help. I doubt it. But nonetheless, I will use something that feels a little bit more correct here. Just so I don't cause shenanigans. That's the only place I use it too. So maybe that was the issue. Oh, let's find out. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, then we have a split pipe, and we have a phylactery, and it's still doubling. Pain. Okay, so that was not the problem. Yeah, for some reason. Why is it getting set there? I don't set it anywhere between those points. I don't know what's happening. Is there just something in finding whether or not the splitter's balanced? It shouldn't. That just finds a path, right? I don't set anything here. Okay, I gotta... Man, I don't even know where to begin diagnosing some of this stuff. Because yeah, I see that I'm not changing anything down here. I'm just going through the list. Does path exist? I'll do my due diligence here. Yeah, just returns a Boolean and doesn't set anything. My scroll wheel is slightly busted, so sometimes it jitters, and that's always special. Anyway, well, I feel like all I can do is check more areas. So let's see if it's this is kind of what I expect it to be. I'll get a second set, but I'll use a different symbol, I guess. After it goes through that. We'll use number signs. And see if that gets me what I want. Okay, so I have made it here in the places where I don't want it to be going. So I will rebuild that. See what happens here. Does it work here? It doesn't want me to be able to find the phylactery location, huh? That's weird because... Am I not updating phylactery location properly? Let's find out. Wait, what do you mean? I'm trying to use vector2.infinity for my placeholder now. Instead of random numbers. Oh, it's because it's a vector2, not a string. Fair enough. We'll fix it now. Okay. And you should be a string. You know, I should have been suspicious of that once I saw that. Okay. Okay, and you should be bar. Okay, but now it all should be well. Okay, let's try that again. So just more shenanigans with having to use strings instead of vector2s as my keys. And some stuff gets very upset. Oh, yeah, I need to... Why do I even have this variable? I don't know, but it seems pointless. So, let's get rid of it and just use location. Okay. And hopefully things don't crash this time. That would be wonderful. It is still 400, but now I have a bunch of print statements. So let's see if I can glean anything from the shenanigans here. Okay, so we have the start. This is before anything is said, so that is perfect. This is after some things are said, and... Oh, is this another duplication issue? You know, I swear to God, this kills me every time. I just totally forget about it. Let me see here. Where are... Because I think that it's setting a value, but it appears to be setting a reference. Why does it only do it with one of the pipes? Like, shouldn't it be doing it for all of them? No, but wait. Why? No, I mean, look at this. I'm not crazy, am I? Look. This bit here, is it all visible? Mostly. I'll try to scroll it up here a little bit. But... You know, the font's a little bit small. So, Uh-oh. I'm gonna try to make this bigger. But basically, what this is saying is I put some print statements up here in stars, and then some print statements up here in number signs. And I printed out the name, so it says phylactery on both, so this is where I would expect. And then I printed out the connection or the path, the path array, and then the just basic pipe info array. And then I go through here, we leap through all the elements, and I update the one on the path with the one from the, I update the one on the, yeah, both of these are from the path. I update, one on the path with the previous one on the path. And then I print out again. And it has stuff in it. Like, why? I don't even update pipe info. But right here, there is no stuff. And here, there is stuff. I don't understand. I don't even touch pipe info here. Okay, why would it do that? For a second there, I'm just like, oh, am I dealing with a dictionary shenanigan? But no, I'm updating each individual value here. Why would that update? And these are not even connected to each other. Why would updating this update a second dictionary? Why? I didn't accidentally know. This is pipe info. I was like, I didn't accidentally write down the wrong name in my print statement, did I? But no, I have it right. What the hell? I mean, I was just putting stuff down in random places because I was desperate, but... And then, yeah, by this point, phylactery has stuff in it, even though it shouldn't. But it didn't right before, in this print statement. Okay, well, I'll see what this is. I'll do it before and after again. I mean, I don't know what to do at this point. I'll do it before and after again. Can I just... Alright, let's look for my stars. Maybe I should have added a little bit of other text there, but no, this is fine. So we have 0 water in both, which is what I expect. And then afterward, no, we should not have 200 in both. We should only have 200 in the first one. I mean, I could put a brute force method of getting it in there, but I don't know why I'm guessing it's probably something with how I initially set elements. So, you know what? Because this is driving me mad, I'm literally just gonna go here and put duplicate on all of these. Anywhere elements is set, we're putting duplicate. Because it has to be some shenanigan with a reference being passed. It has to be some shenanigan with a reference being passed in the dictionary. And it's updating since it's a reference, when I update one, I update both. Even though I was pretty sure I avoided that when I was doing this, but at the very least, it seemed to be working at some point. But you know, just in case, anywhere I see elements, I'm just putting duplicate. And the fact that it's only happening on one and not every pipe is highly confusing to me. But you know, whatever. If this does it, then I'm not going to complain. Oh, well, I might complain a little bit, but I'll complain a lot less. Alright, well, let's build the thing again and see if things are not duplicated. Here's my phylactery. Okay, there we go. Random shenanigans with references. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, but I did the thing, so we're good. Now then, does this fix what I was trying to do before? Who the hell knows? Let's find out. Okay. Oh, okay. Now it's just my print statements freaking out. I don't need them anymore. I don't think. God, I hope I don't. So let's get rid of some of these. Okay. Those ones I'll keep. I think that these guys might be useful for future debugging purposes. So, let's keep those. Oh, the game is still up, but yeah, basically I'm just I got an error on one of my print statements, and it's angry about it, so I'm just deleting it. I'm just cleaning up my prints for now. Okay, and we're good. And we're good, and do I see what's in the vaporizer here? Phylactery. I'm gonna clear that in a second. Vaporizer. correct amount. Perfect. I don't need these anymore. Okay. In that case, now that the basic is figured out, let's go try to build the complicated thing. I think I was trying to do that before, but I got distracted. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Do I just need Okay, you know what, that's fair enough. Sometimes the connections just break, and then I had to do that here as well. So let's just start doing it as a matter of course. Basically, this shouldn't be an issue if things have an endpoint, but when you reach dead ends, sometimes shenanigans happen. And dead ends are inevitable while you are building the path, especially if you're using splitters. So I should just get in the habit of doing this. Okay, so we got it there. And these don't do any of that check. And this is only updating itself, and if it itself exists, then that's fine. Okay. So I'll just get in the habit of doing that. Unfortunately, while it's not connected to anything, we don't really care what's in it. So this should be okay. Okay, it's still not working though, because this shouldn't be 200. This should be 100. Yeah, and it's not getting the right amount. Where's the vaporizer? Where is the vaporizer? Split pipe, phylactery. I wish my scroll wheel was not busted. Anyway, the phylactery. Split pipe. Vaporizer, there it is. It also has the wrong amount. The split pipe here is not splitting. Okay. So let's try to get that working. I am kind of determined to get this going. So if I go a little bit late, that's fine. I'll have to stop when my kids come home, but they're with their grandparents right now, so I got a little bit of time here. Let's see. So we have... So I will check to see if it's splitting or not splitting. Okay. I'll see how detailed I have to go here. God, I so hope I have blueprints ready for next week. That's gonna make testing this so much easier, because then I'll just have the blueprint, and I can just load the game, and... Okay, that's exactly why I was doing the quality of life stuff. It doesn't help for this specific pattern, but it'll help for a lot of future ones. Okay. So yeah, it never splits. It absolutely should be. Let's try to diagnose as to... print that and this. Okay. Ah. So let's see. Ugh. Okay, and I already checked, so it's I already know both of these are going to exist, so that's fine. I think I would like to print type info sub first connection name and same with the other one. Let's print its name too. So you're going to be second connection name. Okay. And I expect that one of these will be unexpectedly true or false. So let's go in and see how I'm finding. That's for the loop. Endpoint, does path exist? I'm guessing it probably has something to do with how I check these things. Seems fine. Let's see, so how do I wish to check? Okay. Let's see. So how should I check how this is being broken? So I assume the issue is probably in this method. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Oh yeah, sometimes it breaks if there's an item right next to splitters and I don't have the thing up to check that. Okay, okay. So I think I know what's wrong. So I want to know if check is endpoint. Oh no, I already do that. So no, we're good. Okay, so no, that's not the problem. Not the problem. Okay. So I think once I get in here, I want to print a nice, lovely string of random characters so that this way I know where I am. And then I am going to print check. So this way I know which things it is looking through and if it's missing a spot. Okay. Let's run this and see what the output gives us. Alright. So, phylactery and a vaporizer. So now, the way this should work, we get 200 from here, it gets split in half because both of these go somewhere. So we should get 100 to both of these. Currently, we are getting 200 to both of them, which is very wrong. Okay, so why are you not... Okay, so there's some recursion going on there. Okay. So up here, we have this here, so we're getting the split pipe there, and now it's going inside. This is check now. And it's checking one side, and it got false. No, that should never happen. Should it? No, that could happen. Okay, because we go down here, and then if it reaches this tile, that is false. No, but I'm not printing there. I'm only printing the split pipe. This one should not be false. We print check, so that's here, and then it's coming back up here. And it's saying that this is false. Okay. So, no, that should not happen. But I at least have an idea of what the problem is. If I come into the game here, let me get my split pipe. I'm gonna return it to 0 rotation. So the way I did it is this side is just the normal give side, and this side is the special split give side. So when I rotate it this way, so we're saying that this side is the split give side, and this side is the normal give side. So it might just be that the way I am checking split gives versus gives is busted. Alright. Well, let's go back and look at this. So it's the first one that's false. So what is the first connection? Okay, so that will be you, right? So you will have 2 connections. 200, 500. So the lower one is the one that's being called false, so it's not finding the vaporizer properly. But it is finding the phylactery. So if we look down here again, we're gonna print the name there. And then it's gonna come through. True. Why is it going to here? Oh yeah, because that's where it actually runs in here. Okay. Is it only running once? Of course it is, because this one was false, and so it doesn't check the other condition, because it already sees that this one's false, and the and means they both have to be true. Okay, kind of interesting that it does that. Yeah, I think C# does the same, so I am familiar with this. Let's see, so why are you false? So this is going to be the lower one. And if I walk through my logic here, current is going to be this, so that will be the split pipe. Okay. So we go and we kind of come and we walk down here. Alright. Then we find a pipe. And so what is next here? Just its normal gives, so that'll be the one above it. And indeed, we're not going to find anything there. So it's going to skip all this and never check the split gives. Okay. Alright, I have a thought on how to fix that. Because I can see that hmm. Okay. I'm thinking about changing when I check for this. So what I think I might do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna move it up here. Okay, this should be okay. I'll put it above this comment there. That's probably important. So let's see. From here... And... yeah, that should be fine. Because... yeah, I don't think I have to do any of these things. If... this is a split pipe. I mean, I probably do need these guys. But I can put that into here. Does path exist? I can't really call check here. Yeah, so I was gonna check to see if the next one was like that. So maybe... basically, my current dilemma is that, you know, there's the gives and the split gives. So actually... okay, no, I'm gonna go with the other thought I was having. I think that'll be easier. So let's put this back. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Or... I'm gonna put this on a new line because it'll be easier for me to read personally. Or, pipe info, subcheck, name is equal to split pipe. Yes, that's the term I use, right? Yeah. And should be pipe info, not pipe. that would have been awkward. So pipe info, sub pipe equals yeah, so I want a pipe equals this. So pipe info sub, this should be check. Split gives. Okay, so let's add the condition that it can also match split gives, but these have to be together. There. So both of those must be true for this to work. So either of those. And let's see if this fixes the issue. So it just wasn't able to tell that there was an endpoint on both ends. It couldn't find the vaporizer. There were shenanigans, but I think that should fix the shenanigans. Okay, and then we have the phylactery up there. Split pipe. What? If pipe equals next. Okay, so this is probably just a stupid typo. Where's another place I check a name? Oh no, check is the name. Okay, so I don't actually have to do that. I just know... Check. Okay. And that's right. So this is going to be current chords, right? Or is it just current? It's been a while since I've looked at this function. Let's take a look here. Current chords is item, current is the pipe itself. So yeah, current chords. That should be correct. Okay. Maybe someday I can stop building this structure. I believe in myself. Someday the bug will be fixed. Yay! Okay, so let's see if it can find the vaporizer now. Yay! The number is correct! Alright. And indeed, it is showing the right number there, so let's see if all the vaporizers have the right number. And if it does, I'm gonna call splitters good, and I'll stop there. And then, you know, maybe, like, eventually, it depends on what I want to do next week, we can figure out the recursive nightmare pipes. Oh god, my brain is tired. I hope this worked. So let's see, we have the phylactery, it has 50, that's good. We have... Let's see, split pipe. We have vaporizer. What's in you? 100. What is your location? 200, 450. 0, 50, 100. 150, 200, okay. So we have the correct... X, 450. 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. Okay. 350. I miscounted. No, I didn't. It's the right one. So good, that was the one that needed 100. What about the other vaporizer? It has 50. Splitters are solved. I think. But we'll see what happens when we actually get to playtesting this. But all the numbers are right now. So, yay. I think we're good. That was quite a weird issue. I'm gonna clean up my prints before I call myself done for today. Jumped around a little bit today. But... no, I'm pretty happy with splitters being good. Okay. So let's just go ahead and get rid of some of these. God, my scroll wheel is so bad right now. I thought I had it fixed, like there was a bit of dust in it for a bit, but I thought I got it out. But sometimes it just freaks out. It's terrible. So that was interesting. Another random dictionary issue. I gotta be real careful when I'm dealing with those, I swear. But why was it only happening on the phylactery? I was doing the same thing with each of them. Now the other ones were okay. I don't know, man. Talking to the spirits has problems sometimes. Sometimes they get very confused. And we just don't understand each other at all. But it's okay, we're good. I think I got my splitters good. And we're probably about ready to see if this method will let me check for pipe recursion more easily. That was really my hope. And hopefully next week I will have proper blueprints. And I'll have that rabbit hole figured out. So I do look forward to that. Blueprints were really the last quality of life thing that I wanted. So after that, it's going to be going back to making sure all the flow calculations are correct and figuring out how to move things between rooms. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just thinking, is there anything else really major? No, I think we're just going to go back to flow calculations and then eventually getting things between rooms again. Oh man. I've been wanting to do that for a while, so I'm kind of happy that it's there. And then we can implement the thing that I'm most afraid of and see if I can calculate when buffers are filling up when you're off screen. Okay, well, that'll be something. I'm kind of wondering if I should make my factory global a scene to more easily add timers and stuff to it. I'm not sure. We'll see if I have to. But, yeah. I got the thing working, and now I'm tired. and I feel a little bit silly for maybe not realizing that I was having a problem that I've had before again. But these things happen. These things happen. It is what it is. Alright. I'll go ahead and stop here. So tomorrow will be more Crypt Custodian. Gonna do the cleanup. Gonna go hunt all the collectibles. And then Saturday, art. So I do hope to see you there. I am so looking forward to the art. I mean, here, you know what? I know people that come to my programming streams often don't come to the art streams, and vice versa. Or, some do, some don't. So, no, that's paint. That's not Krita. There we go. This is what I've been drawing, and I think it's really pretty. And I've almost finished this side, the suit side, and I'm probably gonna put a few more patterns on the skirt and stuff, but I'm gonna be able to make it pretty. And it already looks pretty good, I think, but it's just gonna be great. So, and I do also, the other reason I want to bring this up is I hope that this will give a taste as to the quality of the art that I'm hoping to put into phylactery here. I'm gonna go all out, man. It's gonna look good. I just have to figure out how to do it. So, there we go. But I will indeed stop here for today. So thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. Yeah, I will see you all tomorrow.